Hi, it's Rex in Michigan. I've been thinking recently about American culture or Western culture in general that seems to be involved in a pell-mell rush to embrace everything that cultures historically considered lacking in common sense. I call it a celebration of irrationality, and it can be traced directly to the idea of worldview. What you believe about God and life and truth will influence that which you do in the rest of your lives, and also, of course, in culture. And our current cultural zeitgeist, or spirit of the age, has embraced the idea that there is no truth, no God, but no truth. And if there's no truth, there's nothing that you can believe in. There's nothing that you can know for sure. And these ideas have direct kind of outgrowth or consequences in how we behave in everyday life. There is the increase, certainly, in moral depravity. People do what's right in their own eyes. There is a kind of death of conscience. I think you see that in rage that we're seeing now in the streets, and of course, the increase of mass shootings in the United States in particular. There's a loss of a sense of meaning of life and a loss of the definition, certainly, of happiness and contentment. We have more material goods than any culture in history, and yet we're more unhappy than any measured culture in history or society. There's a loss of common purpose and common cause, common sense. You see that in an increase in anxiety. We're being told that there's a mental health crisis epidemic in the United States, all ages, and a dramatic increase in teenage suicides. I mean, these kids are killing themselves because they have no backdrop. There's no safety net. There's nothing but the screen in their lives. Anxiety, fear, uncertainty goes back to the sense that there's no roots, there's no meaning, there's no purpose. It's nihilism. Abortion. Americans have long demonstrated an icy indifference for human life, and we're responsible for that. Children, they're inconvenient, so we abort them. The more recent woke ideology makes no sense. In the name of tolerance, it preaches or teaches intolerance and results in that. It promotes racism. It promotes cancel culture. It promotes a suppression of free speech. In all of this is kind of a neurotic self-righteousness that runs around embracing the idea of everybody's a victim, and therefore we need to bring down everything that is good and right and valuable in our society. And universities, media, corporations, government now have embraced this woke ideology, and especially in terms of education, it's being taught even in grade schools. LGBTQ plus, gender fluidity, which of course doesn't even exist, but the idea is being promoted regularly and vigorously everywhere you look. Pronoun nuttiness, absolute nuttiness about pronouns. The whole movement, as it's called, decries the idea of a creator God. It denies science and biology, and it destroys humanity. And yet we're embracing it. Makes no sense. Substance abuse, all kinds. We have a fentanyl epidemic right now, killing 150,000 people a year, coming across the border with Mexico. Not that they're solely responsible; we're the ones buying it, but it's awful. And that's only one drug. Drugs get more and more toxic, it seems like, each year. Debt. Yeah. We're now promoting not only legalized commercial gambling since the late 1980s, we're once again promoting sports gambling, the worst kind. That debt doesn't matter. It's all fun and games, and you really don't, there's no piper to pay. So there's no results, there's no reckoning. And you see that in the attitude in DC about the national debt that's now $31.8 trillion. And if you go check it, it'll be higher than that because it goes up every second. We're spending beyond our means. We're spending beyond our children's and our grandchildren's means. And we act like there are no consequences to that. It's a celebration of irrationality. Our culture cannot sustain indefinitely this kind of total rush to, I don't know what to call it, just bury ourselves. Makes no sense, but we're doing it in our blindness. And what do? What does the scripture say? Well, I'll read a scripture verse. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, certainly seems like it's here, you may be able to stand your ground, and you have done everything to stand. Stand firm then with the belt of truth.